NATO's engagement policy with Russia, finding common ground. As the world becomes ever more interconnected, the relationships between countries become increasingly important. One such relationship is that between NATO and Russia. Since the end of the Cold War, NATO and Russia have worked together on a number of issues, but the relationship has been anything but easy. In recent years, tensions between the two sides have risen, particularly in the wake of Russia's annexation of Crimea and its ongoing conflict with Ukraine. This has led to calls for a new approach to relations between NATO and Russia, one that seeks to find common ground and build a more stable and cooperative relationship. One of the key challenges facing NATO and Russia is the lack of trust between the two sides. This lack of trust has been exacerbated by a series of events, including Russia's annexation of Crimea and its involvement in the conflict in eastern Ukraine. These events have led to a breakdown in communication and cooperation between NATO and Russia, making it difficult to find common ground. Despite the challenges, there have been some positive developments in relations between NATO and Russia in recent years. For example, in April 2019, NATO and Russia held their first formal talks in 2 years. The talks focused on issues such as arms control and European security, and while no major breakthroughs were achieved, they were seen as a step in the right direction. Another positive development has been the increasing number of contacts and exchanges between NATO and Russian military officials. These exchanges have focused on issues such as terrorism and crisis management, and have helped to increase understanding and trust between the two sides. Despite these positive developments, there is still much work to be done in improving relations between NATO and Russia. One key issue is the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine. This conflict has not only caused immense human suffering, but has also damaged relations between NATO and Russia. Finding a solution to the conflict will be key to building a more stable and cooperative relationship between the two sides. Another issue that needs to be addressed is Russia's perception of NATO's expansion. Russia has long been wary of NATO's expansion eastwards, seeing it as a threat to its security. NATO, in turn, has argued that its expansion is aimed at promoting stability and security in the region. Finding a way to address Russia's concerns and to promote trust and understanding between the two sides will be critical to building a more cooperative relationship. One potential avenue for improving relations between NATO and Russia is through increased dialogue and cooperation on issues of mutual concern. For example, both sides have a shared interest in combating terrorism and promoting regional stability. By working together on these issues, NATO and Russia could begin to build trust and understanding. Another potential area for cooperation is in the field of arms control. Both NATO and Russia have expressed a desire to maintain strategic stability and to prevent the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. By working together on arms control issues, NATO and Russia could build the foundations for a more stable and cooperative relationship. Ultimately, finding common ground between NATO and Russia will require a commitment from both sides to engage in dialogue and to work together on issues of mutual concern. It will also require a willingness to address the underlying causes of tension and mistrust, including the conflict in eastern Ukraine and Russia's perception of NATO's expansion. Only by finding common ground and building a more cooperative relationship can NATO and Russia hope to address the challenges facing the world today.